Hi there, it is episode 1 of Ramblings of an Undiscovered Author. I am Matthew Wooding here to do the rambling for you in what is hopefully the first of many, many episodes. So today we're going to be having a chat with Abdur Mohammed, author of Chronicles of Atlantis. We're going to be reviewing Up, Back and Away and some other fun things at the end of the episode which are probably going to be worth sticking around for. And I tell you what, I'm going to look back on this in years to come and laugh and laugh and laugh at how awkward I look, and hopefully not be envious of how skinny I am because I'm supposed to be losing weight. But that's by the by. Let's get on with our chat with Abdur Mohammed. So I'm joined by Abdur Mohammed, author of Chronicles of Atlantis. First of all, welcome to the channel. Thank you for making time to come on.
Thanks for having me.
It's all my pleasure. And just we get to know you thing here. Now, I read on the about the author part of your book that you are a U.S. Navy veteran. Now, I do have a few friends in Australia that are in the Australian Navy, and I know that it takes you to sort of all sorts of weird and wonderful places around the world. What's sort of the most exotic or interesting place that you've been?
Interesting would be Dubai.
Okay.
I've got to say, I was in the Naval Air Forces, so aviation. We're not attached to ships or anything, but we went around with the ship where they would take us. We would take a ride, hitch a ride. There's Oman, Jordan. There's so many different places we've been to. That's crazy, but I was more on the Atlantic side, so we didn't get to go to the fun places like Australia, New Zealand, and those far places. But Dubai, it's something. It's not what you may think of. Have you seen? I'm sure everyone has seen the Mission Impossible movie with Dubai, with the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world.
Yep.
It's just like that.
Okay.
And it's amazing. So yeah.
Perfect. Now, when people hear U.S. Navy veteran, writing isn't maybe the first thing that comes to mind after they leave the Navy. So why, or the Air Force division of in your case, why writing? What drew you to that?
Well, this story is something I've been in one version of the other. I've been trying to tell since a child. I wrote small stories and everything. Obviously not Atlantis, but there are a couple items in the book that little Easter eggs, if you may. Like, put it this way: no adult wants to read a book about talking rabbits and fantasy stuff like a child would love. So I kind of took that and translated it into today's, what can I say, current affairs, history. I love history. I love ancient history. All these factors, and molded it into a modern retelling of old ancient myths, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And I have read the book, and I have to say, thoroughly enjoyed it. And it does actually come across. Now, I read, too, that you were educated in psychology. Is that correct? Now, is that something that play a part in your character development? That having that sort of insight into a mind must sort of give you almost an unfair advantage in creating characters.
Yeah. It actually, I should tell you this. So everyone, and I'm the cross section, the poll of people I'm talking about here is roughly 10 folks. 9 out of 10 who have read the book have come back and said, well, they loved it. I mean, one of them was kind of sketchy, but I love the bad review. I love that. That encourages me to fix myself, and I'll probably tell you a little bit. You already may know where I'm going with that, but in terms of, they've come back with me saying, hey, I've had some weird dreams, like I was there, or halfway into the book, it's like, oh my God, I can't put it, I need to get back there. I'm having weird dreams, or I'm thinking about something. Now, they may be just making things up to try to make me feel good. I don't know. But the point is, the reason why I believe them, most of them anyways, is that if you notice the way it's written, it's a setup, establishing the scene, building into it, then bringing in the dialogue, and even the way the dialogue is made or written, it's the name. It's not the traditional way. It's more in a screenplay way.
Yeah, I was going to come to that because it is sort of written, as you said, like a play or a screenplay, which I found really interesting because it's almost like you're picturing like the world's most epic stage play, and I'm assuming that was a conscious decision of yours rather than sort of something that you stumbled upon.
Yes. I kind of struggled with it. I struggled with the way I would write this because, to begin with, the traditional way of a paragraph, of a scene and a dialogue entwined in that paragraph, that I was like, man, that's there. Everyone does that. Let me try to mix or meld the two worlds together, because screenplay writing, as you may know, it's way different. It's a different world compared to the literary. So what I attempted to do was take the literary, mesh in the screenplay format, but not be married to it, if you know what I mean. Because you would see a lot of people said, hey, I had an issue at the beginning. When I started reading to it, it was a little off-center, off-keel. But then they got into it. They understood where I was coming. And the reason why I did like the name and then the dialogue and what they're thinking or whatever, eventually, and tell me if this is true or not, eventually, when you get into it, not far in, you save time in the reading process, because all you do is you see the name and you don't have to think about reading the name anymore. The dialogue comes, it registers with an image that was created at the beginning about this individual. This individual, their description, their demeanor is established, and then all you got to do, you just glance the name at the beginning, and then the dialogue, what they're thinking, their actions. You have that subconscious build already there, and now it's there in front of the page. You don't have to read in, oh, well, he said, she said, if you understand what I'm saying, or try to imagine, am I getting this right? Is it the right person speaking here? I think that was the bottom line of it. I was trying to save time by accessing, in my own weird way, accessing some registry there that would play in your memory.
Yeah, and it does definitely work. I would say, and I do encourage people to read it, because I think when I knew you were coming on, I wanted to read it, and I think I found it on the Kindle version for maybe a pound or two. Like it was very, very reasonably priced, and I thought I'll read a little bit and see if I get into it. And I got to say, I really, really enjoyed it. And you need to go in with don't go in with this isn't written traditionally, it's no good. If you give yourself 2-3 chapters, and I guarantee you, everybody, you won't put it down, because it really does just suck you in. And it's like an amazing world that you created. I was telling my wife, it's almost something like between, say, Lord of the Rings, where you have like the ring, you have like this object that everybody sort of wants, and then you have like the conniving and everybody's own motives, like you'll get in like a Game of Thrones. Like it's just this like in-depth, like crazy world that you've created. And like, so like, and it's all sort of set in like a science fiction fantasy sort of a world. Like, how on earth did you get to create that world? I can't imagine like the thoughts and the deep thought thinking behind it.
I am so glad you asked this, because here we go. There are clues as to when the period is, obviously, because it's the age of Virgo, right? The age of Virgo ended about 11,500 years ago. Science, math, all that stuff, the calculations, right? There is something called the Younger Dryas. That science, this is mainstream science. This is not made up thing here. Mainstream science calls that period the Younger Dryas, when the Earth experienced a massive shift in climate and all that stuff. When you want to speak mythologically or religiously or whatever, the deluge, right? Something great happened, the melting of the ice cap scientifically. Now, so many different myths are around the world. So many things exist. So many stories, right? No one knows what happened before. There are different legends and different myths throughout the world, right, that speak of, again, Atlantis. That was just an anchor for me to use to tell this story, right? That period prior to, no one knows much about it. Now, in the Bible speaks about, in Noah's time, the pre-antediluvian period, all that. I know, I don't mean to bring up religion here, but it's a general context, observation. It's a factual. I'm only opening the door what's written there in the Word, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. It speaks about a civilization that existed before, right? That they were doing stuff, building stuff. They were of a certain way about them, right? No one knows about this. No one. Evidence, archaeology, which is about anthropology. It's all out there. It's finding stuff. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, they found 12,000 years ago, right? So this, and where I'm going with this is the reason why, to answer your question actually, or comment, is the way I built this world was on the premise that a world existed prior to us, our current stage, that was grander or different, and we're heading right back there. In other words, that's the whole premise of this. That's how I came up with it.
Yeah,
using fact.
Well, it's amazing because Game of Thrones is the example again. George R. R. Martin, he says that like everything that he has in that sort of has a root somewhere in history, and it if you want inspiration, just any authors out there, history is like there's so many like just amazing examples that you can use for anything, and you can just twist it and meld it and turn it into something. And like I say, the world is literally, I find, something between Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. It's like I'm so excited to see where it goes next, and there's so many directions that it can go. And the series, it already has me hooked, and we're only, as you said, one book in. How long do we have to wait for book 2 to come out?
Well, going back to the beginning, what you asked about career, yes, I'm a Navy veteran, but I still work for the Navy. I've got one foot in the door because I'm 1 weekend a month, I still belong to the Navy. And yeah, reserves. And then I still work for them. So we just underwent a massive, I'm sure you guys have heard, IG, Inspector General thing about where I work. Where I work, we're responsible for all the fleet, the entire fleet around the world.
Okay. So
there was a big deal going on there. I did not have time. So now, believe it or not, I am hoping to quit my job, although that's not lucrative. I'm going to become the starving writer, and attempt to devote 3 months. The great thing about it, 3 months for this volume 2. The thing about this is, I should mention, I'm sure this, for the viewers, the ultimate destiny of this, the ultimate end game of my entire writing here is to get garnish a television series, right? So this would explain the time wait. The entire season 1 has been written in screenplay form.
Yeah.
So all I have to do now is translate screenplay writing into literary writing, which to me is hard. Right? So, everything's there. The outlines are there, everything. However, it's getting it there. I sit there and I procrastinate, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, join the club with that one.
Yeah, play a video game, come back to it, even though it's written there for me. And, interestingly enough, or I'm sure you'll understand where I'm going with this, the self-publishing route, right? Well, we won't get there yet, but the screenplays has been read and looked over by professionals, all right? May have 1 or 2 spelling errors. Grammatically, it's great and all that stuff. Come to the book. 82,500 words or so. There's, under 100 misspelled words, at least in the Kindle version, the Amazon version. But in the hardcover, yeah, it's I would say like 80 or so.
As good a time as any. There we go, guys. Make sure you go out and get your copy. It is on Amazon, so
yeah. So it's ridiculous that I'm able to make so many spelling errors in a literary work rather than the screenplay. Two. So yeah, the transition is ridiculous.
Well, I think we've all been there too, and the problem is that you read it a million times, and in the end, you're not actually reading what's in front of you. But as soon as somebody else picks it up, it's like bang, 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 and everyone, as you said, you could have 10 errors, and everybody else will pick up every single one of the 10. So,
and the crazy thing is, a friend of mine, she used to be an English teacher,
yep.
High school English teacher, right? That's why I do not have a copy of my hardcover right now, because I gave it to her. I gave her a highlighter, and she is being paid to go through and scrub that book and do what she must. You know what she told me Thursday? She said, "Oh, I got so sucked into it halfway, I totally forgot about checking for errors and stuff." I'm like, wow. So I know I've accomplished at least something if I could trick a high school English teacher.
There you go. And I mean, like I was saying too, with the world, like it is such a big immersive story. How many books or how many TV series? Like how long do you foresee this series running?
The way I explained it to someone in LA actually was, my goal is to lay the foundation, the concrete, pour the concrete, and yes, I have an entire season done, but how these TV type people work, they want their own agenda thrown in there, whatever, and I accept that. So lay the foundation, create a world, create the characters and their problems or their issues, and let someone with a way better mind, imagination, whatever than me, take it and drive that bus for a little bit. I already have the engine in there,
yeah,
but they're driving the bus. It's almost like this is subjective. Season 5 of Game of Thrones, where George R.R. Martin did not allegedly complete some books to get it out there, and the writers decided, hey, we're going to make up our own thing, right? And to me, that was one of the most boring seasons, although not by no means rotten.
Yeah, not bad, but bad by Game of Thrones standards, which is still a very good TV show.
Exactly. So, something like that happens, whatever, that I digress there, but you get the point. Make the engine, have someone else drive the bus, but my goal is to somehow keep some kind of control over it. I can only write, well, I guess if I quit my job, I can write the whole deal now, huh? But that's the goal. Well,
I look forward to it, and when you're the next George R.R. Martin, remember me, come back and we'll have another chat. But
hey, Matt, what can I say? This was awesome, and I look forward to speaking with you regularly. And you're going to be on. You're getting that first copy sent directly to you.
Fantastic. Well, I look forward to it.
Yes, sir. If you know any British UK producers out there who might be interested, hey, send them our way, because you're going to be part of this, hopefully. I wish you all the best on your channel, man.
Yeah, no, thanks, mate. Thanks. And as I said, there it is. There's the hard copy right there. It is on Amazon and the Kindle as well. If you don't want to invest in the hard copy, I do highly recommend the Kindle version, because, like I say, so I think it was a couple of pounds here. I'm not sure what the conversion works out to in other countries, but give it 3 chapters. If you're not hooked in 3 chapters, then fair enough, but you will be 100%. But Abdur, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's the first show on the channel, and I'm so happy that you were the first person to come on.
Thank you, Matt. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Great speaking with you. Great speaking with everyone out there. And, best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. This week's Undiscovered novel is Up, Back and Away by Kay Velk. Up, Back and Away is the story of 15-year-old Miles McTavish, an American teenager of rich Dallas executives who travels back in time to 1928 England. He has a mission. He's got to discover a girl with a gift that is out of her place and a secret that was not meant to be, and then return home with them. Now, as you can imagine, 1928 England, it's very low technology, it's a highly class-based society, and a 15-year-old American teenager is not going to react well to either of those things. Now, the characters in this book, they're wonderfully constructed. The interactions, considering, is really 15-year-old way out of his depth. The interactions of a 15-year-old American teenager from modern times and characters from 1928 England. It's actually really believable, I guess. And I thoroughly enjoyed the book. I would not recommend it highly enough. I will obviously put links in the description if you do wish to purchase it yourself. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, and I would highly encourage you take a chance on it because it's genuinely good. The characters, to me, I read this book around about the same time as The Book Thief, and I put them on sort of that same level where you just really get to bond and grow with the characters, and I would, as I said, I'd put it on that sort of level for character development. So it's Up, Back and Away by Kay Velk. Highly recommended. Do yourself a favor, go check it out. So there we go, episode 1 in the can. I think that did okay. If you have enjoyed it, thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribing. You don't want to miss any of the future episodes that we do. One every Tuesday. That's sort of the plan moving forward. Leave any feedback in the comments as well. Positive, please, obviously. We don't like negative feedback, hurts my feelings. But sincere thanks to Abdur Mohammed, first author we had on the channel. Thank you so much. And of course, as I said before, his book, Chronicles of Atlantis, I'll leave some links in the description for you to purchase your copies. Do yourself a favor, do it. It really will surprise you. It's genuinely good. And of course, for the book that I reviewed as well, Up, Back and Away, again, it will surprise you. It's really good, and I'll leave some links in the description as well for that. If you have a book that you would like to have reviewed, again, leave a comment, or you can drop me a line on Twitter. I'll leave a link. I think it's mwoodingauthor on Twitter. But again, I'll have that link in the description. And let me know. I'm all about finding new books. So that's what the goal of the channel is. So by all means, if there's a book you'd like to have reviewed, or if you yourself are an author that you'd like to appear, don't be shy. Please do get in contact with me. Now, you may have noticed that I did a quick sort of minute or so teaser promo for the channel. It looked really good, right? It looked like I got it first time. Enjoy. We'll see you next week. So here we are in my new, wildly successful, hopefully soon to be. No, that up. So cut. My hope is to convince you to give their work. What am I saying? My hope is to convince you to give their work a chance to surprise you, so you can see the pride and passion that they have. I f***ed that up completely. Hi, this is Ramblings of. I'll be talking to another undiscovered independent author. Each week I'll be talking to another undiscovered independent author. Oh,
you would fail horribly in theater.
No.
So good.
I'm not ready yet. So subscribe now to make sure you don't miss an episode. Does that look a bit threatening?
Yeah.
Ramblings of an Undiscovered Author, and I'm your host, Undiscovered Author Matthew Wooding.
Start from the top. Hold on. Sorry. Start from the top.
That was the one. I'm Gus!
Subscribe now, or the human gets it. Ellie, look this way, Ellie.
I'm Jack, the old and no, I'm Jack.
What? The old.
I'm a Jackson.
You're fired.
Please watch.
All right.